Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and today we're hopping in for another Gundam card game video. This time it's going to be a pilot tier list. All the pure pilots that are coming from the first 4 starter decks, as well as GD01 New Type Rising, will be rated on a few metrics here. So I hope you guys enjoy this type of video. Now we are just 2 days away from the release of this card game, and I know a lot of people are excited. A lot of people are having a hard time finding product, myself included, but you know what? We will all get there. Hopefully they reprint set 1 and keep going, and we get that sooner than later. But with that out of the way, let's hop into the tier list. Okay, so we've got a couple of different criteria right here. So here at the top we have ace pilot. Ace pilots are going to be the cream of the crop, the pilots with great effects, the pilots that pass great effects onto their units, the pilots that have link after link after link, the pilots that really just can build a deck around themselves. Then you have solid pilots. These pilots are almost there, but there's just got to be something that holds them back for one reason or another, and we'll get to that. Then we'll have potential ace. Potential ace is going to be a tier reserved for essentially pilots that definitely are going to get more support later on, and then we are going to basically just rate them. We're going to talk a little bit about why they're going to get that support. And then we have mid, right? Mid is going to be for pilots that just like they're almost there, but they're not quite there. They still might make it in decks, but like it is what it is. We might actually add one more in there, and then we've got get out of the mobile suit. And get out of the mobile suit is just going to be the tier reserved for extremely ridiculous jobbers, like horrendous jobbers. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add one more tier, because as I'm talking about it, I do feel like there probably is the ability to add a row above and then change its color just a little bit. So we're going to go over here and we're going to change this to a darker green. Get out of the mobile suit's going to be a darker green. We're going to change mid to this green, and then everything should be fine. So this one here is going to be niche. Niche is going to be just a very narrow category. So let's start this off here. We got to get this ball rolling. The first thing we're going to have here is Amuro. Amuro goes straight up to ace pilot. I don't think anybody is going to really dispute this. When it comes to Amuro, Amuro is legitimately such a good just pilot. So he's going to come down and he's going to automatically rest something, right? He's going to automatically rest something that is 5 cost or less. Now, on top of resting something that is 5 cost or less, 5 HP or less, my bad, before you guys jump on me. But he's going to come down, he's going to rest something 5 HP or less, which is a huge threshold. That is most unlinked things in the game. That is a lot of unlinked, unpaired things in the game. And then on top of that, being Earth Federation, White Base, and New Type is crazy. He's going to link with so many generic blue cards. He's going to link with all of the white base team link conditions, and then he's also got New Type, which may not really do much right now in the blue color, but literally can do so much as we go on. Not only is he one of the best pilots in the game right now, he literally will only get better as this game goes on and we get more Earth Federation in blue, more New Type stuff in blue, and other colors where you may be splashing blue. So yeah, whether he's the main focus of your deck, whether he's the supporting pilot of your deck, if you guys watched my deck building video, I think this guy is just OD. Now, the next one we're going to do is Zex, right? And Zex is in a very weird position because I'm going to put him in potential ace, but he also might just be in mid. So here's the thing. Right now, Zex links with, I think, 3 units. There's a generic Oz link, there's Zex's Leo, and there's also Tall Geese. But Tall Geese is okay, all those cards are okay. And Zex's ability to basically on your turn, if you destroy something by battle, you're going to be able to draw. That's a pretty cool link, right? That is a pretty cool effect. However, as I said before, destroying something with battle damage until you get first strike can be very risky, because you only can get 1 or 2 of those kills before you end up just kind of petering out, before you have no more HP left and you're just open to random burn effects, random chunks. like a 2-2 coming at you when you barely have any health left. So I'm gonna have Zex Marquise down here because yes, he has a fair amount of units he can link with, but none of those units is leading a team. Now in the future, Zex Marquise actually will have the ability to pilot Epion if we get it in the near future. He will have the ability to pilot actually, yo guys, we have to change it in real time. I am going to put Zex in mid, and I know people are going to be mad at me, but when you look at this, Zex Marquise can pilot Tallgeese, Zex's Leo, and some Oz stuff. We don't know what they're going to give us for Oz in the future, but we do know that we're probably going to see Epion, and chances are Zex Marquise will pilot Epion. But Tallgeese 2 is piloted by Trey's Kushranada. And there may be a point where we get Endless Waltz and we get Tallgeese 3 and they give us a Milliardo Peacecraft pilot that's not Zex Marquise. And if that's the case, this guy will be so screwed. So I'm going to put him down in mid. Like I said, guys, you can always come at me and let me know, like, you know, what's going on. Let me know if you have differing opinions. Salem Ass. I'm going to put Salem Ass in solid pilot. Salem Ass is a very interesting unit. She is not as good as Amuro, no, but she has the exact same traits. She has Earth Federation, white base team, and new type, meaning that she can link with so many units. And a lot of blue Earth Federation does get repair, and she will add another iteration of repair on it, boosting it up by 1. She gives +1/+1, so you're at least getting stats on both sides. Like, I actively do think that Sayla is a solid pilot, and if you're building a mostly blue deck that's Earth Federation or white base, Sayla just has to be your secondary pilot. I think she's just very, very strong, and once again, as we get more cards, as we get support for the 1-year war, she's gonna fit more cards. As we get more Earth Federation generic links, she's gonna be able to link with those. As we get more new type specific links, she's going to be able to link with those. She's a solid pilot, and she's got potential. Banagher. Okay, look, Banagher is going to go in potential ace immediately. Banagher, once he links, if he links, he's going to draw you a card. However, there are only 2 cards at this very moment that he actively links with in his own color, being Unicorn mode and Unicorn Destroy mode. Now, there are going to be other colors, like the Shamblu, I believe, that can link with any new type. He can link with that. But as we go on, it's just a matter of time. We can get new cards that just link with new types, and he is going to draw off of those. Not only that, but we are going to get Unicorn with his controlled Psycho frame. We're going to get Unicorn with his full Vernier, where he has, like, you know, the big rockets on the back and the 3 shields and like the Gatling guns. This Banagher link, or this Banagher pilot, is going to get more and more tools the longer this game goes on, and for that reason alone, I think we do have to just have him here as a potential ace card. Ride is very strange. So Ride basically just says if you have repair, draw 1, right? I'm not going to say potential. I want to say potential ace here, right? Because he says if you have repair, he gets AP +1, meaning he can be a 2-1 pilot. His Earth Federation is the only thing. I'm going to put him on mid. And the reason why I'm going to put him on mid is, and I have to warn you guys, there will be spoilers in this. Like, I cannot talk about this stuff without putting spoilers in there. But the reason why I have to put Ride in mid is because when it comes to Ride, right? He can fit in the Federation, but if they don't have repair, he's just a vanilla unit. On top of that, he currently doesn't link with Banshee, which is the mobile suit he eventually pilots. He is a new type in the show. That is something that's revealed. However, he doesn't have new type here, which means that we could very easily get a new Ride pilot by the time he gets Banshee as a mobile suit, in which case we'll probably get a better Ride pilot. But at this moment, he only links with Federation. He doesn't link with Banshee. He's mid. He's actually very, very mid. In fact, I can't even put him on the same level of Zex, because Zex is mid and has more links and has probably Epion coming out. This guy has Banshee coming out, and he might not even be the same pilot for Banshee. So yeah, that's kind of it. Suletta. We're gonna put Suletta on a solid pilot state. I think honestly she's really good, but in this particular format, it's not like we have a gajillion cards that draw, and she is going to need to, she untaps one resource when she gets a swing. She has plenty of things she can link to. She actually might have the most units in the game that she can link to. It's actually insane. However, at this very moment, the general power level of Witch from Mercury does not seem crazy high. I could easily say that she might be up here at Ace Pilot, but I think that maybe she's probably just at the top of Solid Pilot. She's right on the borderline between Solid and Ace, but she also has more things to get. She definitely has more iterations of Ariel that we're going to get. She has the Caliban, whatever the last mobile suit she used in Witch from Mercury, she's got that too. And there will be other Academy things that are released, and if they just get the Academy link instead of just like, you know, actual names, she'll be fine. Kira, straight up to Ace. Kira is just really dumb. His minusing 2 on the swing is going to get into a lot of good places, on top of it just doing a lot of good work with the -2. At the end of the day, you got to realize that this card links to every strike unit and Earth Alliance as well. And then as we move forward, Kira Yamato is probably going to get even more links. We still don't have the Strike Freedom. We still don't have the Mighty Strike Freedom from the movie that just came out. There's going to be a lot of things that Kira has. We have Freedom, but we don't have any cards from Destiny. There's going to be a lot of cards that Kira is going to link to in the future, and you can easily build a deck around him as is, and his effect is powerful and it forces trades into very manageable like things. I'm gonna go and put Kigali in niche. See, the issue with Kigali right now is that she can turn anything into a blocker, right? Which means that Kigali, if she's paired with anything white, it will become a blocker. This will be cool, right? We will actually be able to get use out of this if you just tech her into your deck. But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of a reason to use her right now over Kira, over Suletta. And yes, she will be getting more cards. As we get into Gundam Seed Destiny, we will see more and more cards that would technically go under Orb, right? But the thing is, Gundam Seed has a lot of pilot specific links. So yes, she might hit her Strike Rouge, but she will never, even though Strike Freedom is part of Orb, you will never see that, you know? Even though Justice is part of Orb, you will never see her link to that. It's going to always be the named character. So I have to put her in niche. She's got a good effect, but she's not really going to get a lot of mileage. Elon Saris, we're gonna put him in niche too. I will say he does fit under a lot of Academy cards, and so when you're running a full Academy deck, it's probably going to be riding right now on Suletta and Elon. He does a lot of cool stuff, but his effect just doesn't really get there. It's more of just like he provides a link. Now the +2/+1 is going to be great in like hindsight, looking at the stats of Suletta. So I think that we do have potential for this to be a good like pilot. It's just that like already it's kind of capped. Suletta at least has all the aerial cards, and then she has all the Academy cards. We're not gonna probably get another Gundam Ferric, and then on top of that, like, you know, we just have like the Academy stuff. So that's that. And then Gil Jedark is immediately going into the get out of the mobile suit tier. We actually just do not like this card. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's really cool that you get to once per turn set up things, but the 8 or more cards in hand is brutal. Even if you're bouncing cards back to your opponent's hand, 8 cards is an incredible amount of hand to have. Yes, blue-white can get there, but I'm not really trying to run this pilot and run the risk of facing, I don't know, any deck that's not blue-white and never see this effect pop off. All right, now, going into Hito Yui, I'm going to put Hito Yui in solid pilot. I know some people are saying he's an ace. I will say right now he can link to a vanilla, Wing Gundam, Wing Zero, and Bird Mode. That's a lot of links in here. And while Hito Yui is definitely the most predominant link in the deck, he's unfortunately not really that great of a pilot. Like, he adds on straight stats, and that is his biggest boon. But if you think about it, a lot of these pilots are really like the ace pilots. The pilots are just as good as their suits. Like, the suits are adding in good stuff, the pilots are adding in icing on top of the cake. Hito Yui, his suits are actively just better than him. Like, he is being used for the fact that he is a Link. The stats are very nice and they help you stay out of range of a lot of things, but like, I can put him in ace pilot, but realistically, he's probably the lowest of ace pilots in my opinion. He adds the raw stats, and the raw stats are good on their own, but he himself is kind of lackluster. Like, you're always like, yes, the Wing Zero did its thing, and then we're gonna put Hito Yui under so he can swing right now. The Wing Gundam is here. Yes, I'm gonna breach, I'm gonna attack active modes, but we're gonna put the Hito Yui just so he can attack. Hito Yui is never like, oh yeah, Hito Yui himself saved the game. He's just the Link. And so I have him right there. Char, ace pilot, immediately. Char has a lot of good keywords. He is both Xeon and he is a new type, which both are very, very, very valid. Being Xeon is going to allow him to link to a couple of things, a few things, and when he links to something, he gives it high maneuver, which is unblockable, which is a very undervalued trait right now. Very, very, very good keyword, and we're here for it. So yes, this guy is a beast, and yeah, he links to a lot of stuff. As the game goes further and further on, there will be more Xeon cards. There will probably be more of Char specific things. Like, we don't have Char Zegog, we don't have a lot of things, and so right now there's going to be a lot of more things that we're going to see in the future, between Green, between Char, between new type even. Like, if we get Elmeth, if Elmeth doesn't require Lala soon, if it just requires a new type, bam, that's another Char thing. So we're sitting here really, really doing that. Maybe the G-Quux cards will require new types instead of just specifically the characters, and bam, Char's right there again. So I do think that, like, we are here at a point where Char has potential, and you can currently build a deck around his links. Guy is a monster. Duo. We're putting Duo straight in solid pilot. Duo's 1-2 stat line is great. The survivability is amazing. His combo with Death Scythe is ramp and removal. It's just extremely good. He's unfortunately not going to be a deck you build around, or like a pilot you build a deck around, but he's still just very, very, very good in general, and I think that he deserves to be high up on this solid pilot list. Hito Yui and Duo will be your main links when you're playing the Wing Gundam deck. Wu Fei, mid. His effect is kind of weird. First of all, the unit has to have breach. Second of all, it only works on 3 or less AP units, which, as you guys know, is not a very good stat line. It works on weenies, but weenies are easily removable anyway. All the Rozels, all the 4-3 units, the Gelgu, you don't really get to use this on here, and you probably end up trading in a lot of cases. He has 2 units that he links with. And another thing that we don't know when it comes to Hito, when it comes to Duo, when it comes to Wu Fei, is when eventually when we get support, some of them will get support. Like Wing Zero, great support, right? Eventually we'll get Gundam Death Scythe, Hell, right? Eventually we're gonna get Ultron, yeah? But when we get Endless Waltz, will this still link with Hito Yui, or will Wing Zero Custom link with Hito Yui EW or Hito Yui Endless Waltz? Until we know that, we cannot assume that these guys are getting like support. Like, we can hope, but we can't assume, and that's a little bit of a scary problem. Makuve, we're gonna put Makuve in niche. I think he's like pretty high up though. Makuve just turning things, giving +1/+1 and giving breach 1 to Xeon allows you just to put him on cards and then immediately attack and force a shield. Like, there are going to be a lot of times where you have to choose between face and body. I like Makuve because you don't have to. You can literally swing at a body and then know it's going to push the base in after you clear the body. You're not the base in the shields. So I think that Makuve has a space, and I think that more aggressive Xeon decks will be teching a couple copies of Makuve just to make sure that sometimes you just can push through damage even though you're trying to clear board. Full Frontal, I'm putting him in solid pilot. He is a leader. He is a pilot that you can base a deck around. The main issue though is that right now Neo Xeon, Cyber New Type, and and I think those are his only traits. They're very good. Those are good traits right now. However, he's a level 6, which means you can't play him until late in the game. Sinanju is an absolute monster. Shamblu is something he can link with. He can link with quite a few things right now. However, coming that late into the game, I don't think you can build a deck around him. He's just extremely good top end, and he straight up cheats into play mad bodies. So I'm gonna put him at the bottom of solid pilot, mainly because I do think that, like, he's very good. He's just not currently good enough to build a deck around. Atherin, right? Atherin I'm gonna put in potential ace. Atherin has a lot of suits at his disposal, and the whole Zaft keyword. I think a lot of people forget that Gundam Seed Destiny, like Destiny Gundam, is technically part of Zaft. So any units that we get for the Destiny Gundam Zaft side could potentially just have a Zaft or coordinator trait, in which case Atherin stocks go up. Atherin still does not have infinite justice in the game, nor does he have the his last mobile suit that he gets in the new movie as well. He's going to get more and more mobile suits, and so I'm just putting him in potential ace. He's still a decent dude, but he's just going to get more and more real estate as we get more and more cards. Marita is going up here to the ace pilot category. She has Neo Zeon and Cyber new type. However, currently at this moment, she links with the Kshatriya and she links with Banshee. As time goes on, we might get some more Neo Zeon lists, or more Neo Zeon units, and then we also may get another Banshee that she can pilot. Cyber new type is an interesting link because we might get Psycho Gundams in the future that she can pilot. I think that she actually has a lot of real estate. However, when you look at her compared to all of these things, I think she has the hardest drop off. They can just stop printing cards from Unicorn, and Marita may never get links again outside of Psycho Gundams if they decide to do that. Amuro is getting more links. Kira is getting more links. Hito Yui, unless we get screwed over by the Endless Waltz kind of thing, is getting more links. Heck, Hito Yui may even get an Epion that we can use. Char is getting more links. But Marita, I think she might be better than maybe a couple of these pilots here, but she's gonna have the hardest fall off. I'm just gonna put Zach over here in niche. A lot of people are talking about his ability, but the fact that he has to swing over a linked unit is diabolical. A lot of people aren't getting this. This guy is giving 1-1. He is giving 1-1 in stats, and the average linked unit has 5 AP. Does anybody understand? Does anybody understand that when a enemy linked unit is destroyed with damage while this unit is attacking, draw 1? You have to destroy something with over 5 AP most of the time, 4 to 5 AP. You are not living long with this card. And people are talking about the burn damage, bro. If you give him first strike with Blitz Gundam, that's a whole different story. You give him first strike with Blitz Gundam, that's cool. But on top of that, it's not just that you have to destroy a linked unit. Your opponent has to have a linked unit. Your opponent doesn't always have a linked unit. And you have to destroy that linked unit. So when they have their strongest card on the board, you have to get over it, and that may only give you 1 draw before your opponent just goes, yeah, nah, this is over, and swings a 2-2 into it. This is just not a great card for me. In fact, I'm going to move him down to mid. The more I talk about him, the more I was like, dang. And then you have Dierka. I think Dierka goes into, I want to say he goes into niche. He just really has a filter effect. When linked, discard 1 if you do draw 1. It's mechanically inferior, but I think in the Zaft deck, it's going to be another card that helps you filter. You're going to discard your worst card, hopefully draw into a better one. And I think that this is actually a decent card for what it's worth, just not that great in general. And here we go. This is my current tier list for all the pilots. Let me know in the comments how you agree, how you disagree, if you think there's anything I missed or you want to dispute, because I love a good conversation. So yeah, that's pretty much all we have to say there. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. 2 more days to the Gundam card game releases, and I could not be more excited. Thank you guys. Remember to like the video if you like the video. Remember to comment if you, like I said, have different opinions, agree. Subscribe if you love the comment, and go, or the video, yeah. And go down in the description and check out my sponsors, such as Hyperbeam Cards based in Tijuana and Mystic TCG based in Missouri, if you want to have a potentially really good place to get the Gundam card game. They will have other Bandai games as well. I know Hyperbeam Cards is my sponsor for Dragon Ball Super Fusion World. So yeah, just go in the description, check them out, and I will see you guys in the next video. later.